Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda 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 Paramashivoham. Om Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda 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 Paramashivoham.
Nithyanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Bandvadidham Gaganasadusham Tattvamasyadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Satgurum Tam Namami. Nithyanandam. Welcome to all the viewers who are joining us from all over the world today for this very special January 3rd celebrations, the Gregorian calendar Jayanti for the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself. And we will be having many celebrations today. We'll be having temple festivities and we'll be graced by the live darshan of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Hope all of you enjoyed the live darshan in the morning, and hope all of you will be continuing to stay with us throughout the day for the rest of the celebrations today. Now let us enter into today's program and understand about Devi Parashakti and about the Akashic readings, the revelations made by Devi Parashakti for humanity. So all of us know Devi has been continuously manifesting over the last year and just guiding us, blessing us, and protecting us during this time. So let us understand first a little bit more about who is Devi Parashakti. Devi is the ultimate pure feminine consciousness, the cosmic mother. She is a source Shakti. It is her cosmic womb, Brahmanda Yoni, from which billions and billions of universes come out and go in, source where the Big Bang and black holes go on. Parashakti is the main deity of the sacred feminine and the divine consort of Bhagavan Paramashiva himself, who is a primordial divinity in Hinduism. And in the words of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself, describing the cosmic mother, the first and foremost relationship is mother. The ability to learn, even the idea to relate, starts with the mother. How to relate starts with mother. Mother is too important a way to connect with what you think as life. In the Vedic tradition, our rishis were aware your ability to connect with the mother should be directed towards the cosmos. It should inspire you. It should awaken your higher consciousness. Connecting with life as mother is the most sweetest, most beautiful, most easiest form to ever connect. And today, out of his extreme love and compassion, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is manifesting Devi Parashakti herself and gracing us, answering all of our questions, attending to our prayers, giving boons, healing us, revealing our past, present, and future, delivering profound spiritual truths, and ultimately giving us the experience of Paramashivoham itself. So before we enter into some of the revelations today that Devi Parashakti has made, let us understand about the Bhava Samadhi Darshan through which we have been experiencing Devi Parashakti manifesting through the Nijavatar of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. So what is Samadhi? Sama is oneness and Adi means source. So Samadhi means one with the source. And Bhava means attitude or aspect. So Bhava Samadhi means being one with the source through this aspect. And Darshan, which we will all be experiencing today through the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Darshan means to have a glimpse of. In the Vedic tradition, it is used to describe the moments that we behold an avatar, a saint, a deity, or an enlightened being, as just seeing such a being can cleanse the karmas of lifetimes and create a deep, lasting transformation in the receiver. Darshan is the powerful, superconscious vibration that is present around an avatar at all times. He simply radiates darshan just as the sun continuously radiates light. The auspicious moment when the receiver is able to catch it becomes the moment of darshan for you, raising you to the next level of superconscious breakthrough. It's like hitting the reset button on your very being. Let's understand the science behind the Bhava Samadhi Darshan now. The first thing that we need to know is that divine cosmic beings are real. They manifest from KAILASA, the enlightened time-space zone, through deities and incarnations. And divine cosmic beings manifest through the Achavataras, the deities and temples, and through the Bhava Samadhi Darshans, the Nijavataras, the incarnations. And Bhava Samadhi Darshan is the science of the science of Nijavatar manifesting Paramashiva, the consciousness. It is where the formless, the being of Paramashiva expresses through the Divya Sharira, the light body, and manifests as the Nijavatar, the physical form, the embodied form for us to experience Paramashiva. So, for example, Devi Parashakti expresses through the being of Rajarajeshwari and manifests as the Nijavatara, the physical form of Devi Meenakshi. And the Archavatara, the deity, reflects the consciousness and manifestation being of the superconscious energy. But human beings are not yet mature enough to receive these higher level experiences from the Archavatara directly. So the avatar, the physical embodied form, comes down to bridge this gap and creates the experience of the superconscious energy in all of us. So the Bhava Samadhi Darshan awakens your Kundalini Shakti, which is the latent potential energy in every human being. This influx of superconscious energy visibly slows down the aging process and improves immunity to disease. And during the darshan, the whole brain comes alive, turning into a superconductor of conscious energies that heals, empowers, and transforms our lives. And the way that the Bhava Samadhi Darshan works is through a phenomenon called mirror neurons. During the Bhava Samadhi Darshan, our neurons mirror that of the avatar. Mirror neurons activate and process all the observed movements or information of the avatar just by seeing. That is, the entire body can silently and without moving receive what is happening elsewhere through a process of direct observation, experiencing the superconscious energy radiated by the avatar. So now let us understand a little bit about the Akashic readings, which we've all been experiencing many revelations through over the last several months. The Akashic readings are not just predictions, they are readings from the cosmic archives. Beyond space, creation and destruction happen simultaneously. In the dimension of time starts the past, present, and future. And because Akashic records are stored in the Akasha, the space dimension, there is no past, present, and future. That is why what you call as happened, happening, yet to happen, are clearly already recorded. So now let us understand who is the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, the divine cosmic being who is blessing us, gracing us, and manifesting Devi Parashakti for each and every one of us. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagat Guru Mahasanidanam, His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, is the reviver of KAILASA, a macrocosmic, ancient, enlightened Hindu civilizational nation. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is the 1008th incarnation of Paramashiva, as per Hinduism, recognized by his predecessors who are enlightened masters and adepts. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has made the science of power manifestation, yoga, and temple-based universities as a lifestyle for humanity. So the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has been reviving many of the ancient Hindu kingdoms. And as such, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is the present 293rd Jagat Guru Mahasanidanam of the KAILASA Nithyananda, the very kingdom of Devi Meenakshi and Bhagavan Sundareshwara himself. And here you can see the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism reviving, restoring all of the heritage of the KAILASA Nithyananda. And the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has also been declared as the successor of the Arunachala Sarvajya by his Guru Parampara at the age of 16 on the 24th of May, 1994. Here you can see in this lineage, Yogi Yoganandapuri, Isaki Swamigal, and Mata Ji Vibhudanandapuri, and of course, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself. And the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism founded the mission, the Nithyananda Sangha, to revive KAILASA internationally at the age of 21 in 1999. Here you can see the very first photographs taken of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism after the realization of the Avataric mission. And soon after that, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism founded the Adi Kailasha Sarvajya at the age of 24. Here you can see the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism laying the bricks down and performing the Bhumi Puja in what was just a snake park, and soon has now become an international epicenter for enlightenment and spirituality. And the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism in the same year, soon after that, actually, was declared as the successor of the Bhagyanagara Shivpura Sarvajya at the age of 26 on the 1st of January 2004. And in the same year, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism became the incumbent emperor of the Suryavamshi Sarangi Samarajam of the Suryavamshi lineage at the age of 26. And in 2007, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism became the reviver of the Adi Pallava Sarvajya at the age of 29. And at the age of 30, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was coronated as the successor of the Kashi Sarvajya in 2008. And in 2013, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was officially coronated as the Mahamandaleshwara of the Mahanirvani Karda, the largest apex monastic order and the youngest Mahamandaleshwara at the age of 35. In 2014, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was coronated as the Guru Mahasanidanam of the Tanjavur Adinam, the Tiruvarur Adinam, and the Vedaranyam Adinam at the age of 36. And in 2015, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was coronated as the Guru Mahasanidanam of the Dharmamukti Swargapura Adinam at the age of 37. And in that same year, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism also was coronated as the Guru Mahasanidanam of the Adi Vikta Kulada Bhat at that same age. And in 2015 was a very significant year for Hinduism, as many leaders across the globe recognized and elected the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism as the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism by and this, over 1,000 Hindu pontiffs and leaders congregated for this recognition of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is also revered as the most prolific and most viewed guru in the digital world, read and watched by over 1 billion followers in Hinduism, and has created the world's greatest digital nation with over 1 billion views. You can connect to KAILASA via Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and all other social media platforms. And over the last 27 years, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has contributed relentless humanitarian services and initiatives, including free vegetarian food banks, medical services, natural disaster relief, women empowerment initiatives, conflict resolution, peace initiatives, and sustainable Hindu practices through various international agencies and bodies. And the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has authored over 1,250 books and 10,000 articles in 3 languages, English, Tamil, and Sanskrit, which have been translated into 50 languages. And Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has over 20 million copies of books and articles sold, read, and downloaded, and has established the largest Hindu library in the world with over 1 million books, 1 million palm leaf scriptures, and over 20 million digital books, and has over 10,000 hours of discourses and over 1 billion views on social media. All of these discourses are freely available for anyone to enjoy and understanding the teachings of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is also respected as a commentator of all the sacred scriptures, such as the Upanishads, the Bhagavad Gita, the Shiva Sutras, the Yoga Sutras, the Ashtavakra Gita, the Jain Sutras, and many more. These are also all freely available online for anyone to understand the sacred teachings from Hinduism applicable for modern day. And the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is also honored as a leader of Hinduism, the most awarded internationally recognized Hindu leader, and today being the Jayanti, the Gregorian calendar Jayanti for the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. We'll be hearing many of the recognitions and proclamations, the declarations of the Nithyananda Day coming up. As we already saw earlier today, we'll be seeing many more coming up. And the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has been recognized from leaders all across the globe for the immense contributions to humanity over the last 27 years. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has been recognized by the California State Senate, the US Senate, and many congressmen across the US. And the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is also acclaimed as one of the top 100 spiritually influential living personalities by Watkins Mind Body Spirit magazine, and is the reviver of the Sovereign Order of KAILASA, led by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and the Nithyananda Order of monks, nuns, and the Hindu diaspora, who are working for global peace and to give a super conscious breakthrough to humanity. And the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is the establisher of the largest Hindu university in the world, with satellite campuses in 150 countries, and is the establisher of 1,000 plus KAILASA Enlightenment ecosystems, and the founder and reviver of over 100 Sadvidyapitas. So now with this, we will be entering into the demonstration of the extraordinary powers, one of the greatest contributions of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism to humanity. As we get ready, do take a moment to leave a comment below if you would like to experience these powers for yourself and have a live body scan. So we'll be right back after a very short break.
What I mean by the word KAILASA, listen intensely. Enlightenment ecosystem, literally enlightenment itself, in your own home, wherever you are. If you cannot come to KAILASA, it's okay. KAILASA can come to you. KAILASA coming to you is KAILASA. I will revive Hinduism. I am a Hindu revivalist, not by any revolution, but by evolution. and setting model communities. KAILASAs, Enlightenment ecosystems, Sarvanya Peethas all over the world. All powerful cognition, knowledge, only when you live, power manifestation and possibilities manifestation happens. It's a fundamental truth. Hinduism cannot live exclusively as one sampradaya. No. All sampradayas of Hinduism is an ecosystem. So don't keep quiet thinking that if one sampradaya is attacked, only that sampradaya is going to be affected. All of us are ecosystems. I invite all of you to get involved and enjoy Hinduism by the principle of Dharmo Rakshati Rakshitaha. When you protect Dharma, Dharma protects you. We will make the whole planet flourish spiritually. The spiritual prosperity will happen to the whole planet. We all have to coexist together. We get you health. We get you ability to build beautiful relationships in your life. We get you direct spiritual support, and we make sure you become wealthy. We won't stop giving you just good life. We will literally not stop till you live enlightened life. Manifesting the state of Paramashiva, space of Paramashiva, powers of Paramashiva, being of Paramashiva. Whole world should become KAILASA.
Yes, Nithyananda, welcome back, viewers. So now, before we enter into this demonstration of extraordinary powers, the extraordinary Shaktis, let us understand a little bit about the science of power manifestation. In today's program, all of us will be receiving the initiation into the third eye awakening and other various powers through the blessings of the Supreme Pontificanism, and will be able to manifest the powers through the third eye. The third eye is the cosmic browsing center located between the brows, which upon initiation, one can effortlessly express powers and see through the third eye, just as you would with your normal two eyes. So let us understand, what are the Shaktis? In the Vedagas, the source scriptures of Hinduism, Paramashiva reveals in elaborate detail that every human being is hardwired to be able to manifest the 463 plus extraordinary Shaktis, the divine powers. Manifesting powers, or Shaktis, are described as a system, method, and science for human beings to explore the various possibilities and powers and have access to various states of consciousness. Shaktis manifest from the fundamental cognition that you are divine, that you need to manifest the divine, not that you are a man and that you need to reach the divine. So let us understand the difference between Shaktis and Siddhis. Many of you may have heard of Siddhis before. So let's understand, what is the difference? Shaktis express from the space of enlightenment as a side effect of feeling connection with the divine and high integrity with the Guru. Shaktis are the source of enlightenment. Siddhis, however, are powers that manifest from tapas or penance for enlightenment, and Siddhis are only on the path to enlightenment. And the Shaktis of Paramashiva manifest through ordinary human beings in an extraordinary way after initiation from the avatar. And Shaktis are permanent. Siddhis, however, are not permanent, and they may divert you from enlightenment. So, who is the source of these Shaktis? It is Paramashiva himself, who is the primordial divinity in Hinduism, the ultimate reality and cause, which is self-effulgent, Svayam Prakasha, all-pervading, unchanging, beyond time, space, form, and causality, as a fundamental base of Avyakta, the unmanifest, and Vyakta, the manifest existence. He performs the Panchakrityas, or the 5 cosmic acts of Srishti, creation, Sthiti, sovereign rulership and maintenance, Samhara, rejuvenation, Drobhava, pulling out of delusion, and Anugraha, liberating grace for all living entities. And the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is the 1008th living incarnation of Paramashiva and the living representative of Paramashiva and the reviver of KAILASA, the ancient enlightened Hindu civilizational nation, the great cosmic borderless Hindu nation. Ever since the beginning of the civilization, Sanatana Hindu Dharma has been the cradle of enlightened beings and highly advanced sciences. It was where the science of enlightenment and powers, the Shaktis, were lived and taught as a lifestyle. For the first time in a modern day, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is reviving these yogic sciences and transmitting it to the world at a record-breaking, never accomplished before pace. And the knowledge and science of manifesting these Shaktis are passed down from one generation to the next through the Diksha, the initiation by the enlightened gurus. And the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, being recognized as an incarnation at a very young age, was trained and taught these sciences to revive the initiations and knowledge repositories for billions to manifest these signs of power manifestation from the disciplines of Vedanta, Tantra, Shividya, Yoga, yogic sciences, Mantra Shastra, Siddha Vidya, the science of Aushadha, Advaita, Bhakti Yoga, Paramashiva Jnana, and Paramashiva Vijnana. So how do we awaken these Shaktis in us? So for every ultimate truth, jnana, mapped into your consciousness, prajna, manifests as possibility, power for every being, prajnana. So we will be experiencing these Shaktis. We are able to manifest these Shaktis through the Diksha, or the initiation from the avatar. So let us understand a little bit more about what is Diksha.
A touch. Power of initiation. Diksha is the direct transfer of spiritual energy by an enlightened being through look, word, or touch. The traditional Vedic book Navaratneshwara states, Sarva samapi dikshanam muktihi phalamakhanditam avirodhat bhavantyeva prasangyastu bhuktayah. The main benefit of all initiations is moksha, enlightenment. As a side effect, health, wealth, leadership and well-being happen. And in Rudrayamala Tantra, Shiva says, Devi diksha vihinasya na siddhihi na cha sadgatihi tasmat sarva prayatnena guruna dikshito bhavet. The one who is not initiated does not attain liberation nor a better future. So by all efforts, one should get initiated by Guru. What is the science of initiation? Neuroscience has proved that the process of initiation floods the brain with energy. This is the superconscious energy of Kundalini, our own highest inner potential energy. As the Kundalini flows from the thalamus to the cortex, it sets up a powerful energy loop within the brain, which awakens the latent non-mechanical parts which we have never used before. With increasing levels of coherence, the whole brain comes alive, turning into a superconductor of conscious energies that heal, empower, transform our lives, bliss and fulfillment. Initiation creates high awareness, visualization, creativity. It also slows the aging process and improves the immune system. Kundalini awakening, healing experience, levitation, teleportation, materialization. Experience the power of initiation through a range of exclusive programs conducted at the ashram. Nithyananda Dhyanapeetham, Nithyananda Nagar, Biddi, Bengaluru. Contact 97422-03311.
Yes. So now that you've understood the science of Diksha, let us understand how exactly the science of power manifestation is authenticated. It is through the four aspects of evidence, or the Brahmanas. First is the Shastra Brahmana, the eternal, unchangeable truths revealed in our source scriptures. And the next is the Apta Brahmana, the experiences and results of the Aptas, or the authorities of Hinduism, the Vedic rishis and scientists who time-tested and verified the science. And the next is the Atma Brahmana. The Atma Brahmana is the account of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself, this millennium's avatar's personal experience of these powers. And the next is the Pratiksha Pramana, or the empirical evidence from observation and scientific experimentation. And the Vedas are a living, the Vedagamas are a living applied science. The Vedas are the ultimate superior authority for Hindus. Vedas are the pure science where the ultimate truths are explained. The Agamas are the source scriptures where the applied technology, the applied science is expanded on. The Vedas and the Agamas, the Vedagamas, are given the status of Shruti, as they are directly revealed by Paramashivoham himself. They are the ultimate, eternal, unchangeable truths, and a reference cited from these Shastras, or source scriptures, is called the Shastra Pramana. So now let us enter into the demonstration of the power of body scanning. So we will be joined by the Nithyananda Gurukul Balasans, the Nithyananda Yogis, and the disciples of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism for the live body scanning. You can leave a comment now down below if you would like to experience these powers for yourself and have a live body scan. So in this power of body scanning, one awakens the ability to scan illnesses, diseases, medically diagnosed issues, and provide solutions through the awakened third eye. And as you will all be experiencing today, you will be able to personally experience this power of body scanning. You can leave a comment below for and request for a live body scan. You don't need to leave any questions or instructions. You can just give your acknowledgement and permission for the Balasans to scan you. And keep in mind, this is a body scan and a spiritual power, but it does not a replacement for any medical advice. Do consult your doctors and verify all of these revelations through the body scanning, and do not use this as a replacement for any medical treatment or illnesses. So now we will be joined shortly by the Nithyananda Gurukul Balasans, and we'll be right back after a very quick break. And you can go ahead and take this time to leave a comment below for a live body scan.
What I mean by the word KAILASA, listen intensely. Enlightenment ecosystem, literally enlightenment itself in your own home. wherever you are. If you cannot come to Kailasa, it's okay. Kailasa can come to you. Kailasa coming to you is KAILASA. I will revive Hinduism. I am a Hindu revivalist, not by any revolution, but by evolution. And setting model communities. KAILASAs, Enlightenment ecosystems, Sarvanyapitas all over the world. All powerful cognition, knowledge, only when you live, power manifestation and possibilities manifestation happens. This is a fundamental truth. Hinduism cannot live exclusively as one sampradaya. No. All sampradayas of Hinduism is an ecosystem. So don't keep quiet thinking that if one sampradaya is attacked, only that sampradaya is going to be affected. All of us are ecosystems. I invite all of you to get involved and enjoy Hinduism by the principle of Dharmo Rakshati Rakshitaha. When you protect Dharma, Dharma protects you. We will make the whole planet flourish spiritually. The spiritual prosperity will happen to the whole planet. We all have to coexist together. We get you health. We get you ability to build beautiful relationships in your life. We get you direct spiritual support, and we make sure you become wealthy. We won't stop giving you just good life. We will literally not stop till you live enlightened life. Manifesting the state of Paramashiva, space of Paramashiva, powers of Paramashiva, being of Paramashiva. Whole world should become KAILAShians. I want the whole world to know Hindus have something great to contribute to the world. We have something great to contribute to the world. Let us do that. KAILASA is proper customized spiritual service helping you to identify your root patterns of suffering. We have perfected the science of helping every individual from every cultural, religious, nationality background.
Nithyanandam, we welcome each and every one of you on this auspicious occasion of the 45th Avatara Dinotsava celebrations and the celebrations of HDH Nithyananda Day. And today it's a very, very, very special day with lots of events filled and lots of celebrations coming our way. So we are so glad to welcome each and every one of you. And just as Maharajya Purnapriyananda was sharing, we are now going to be experientially understanding one of the most important revivals of Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And the manifestation of Shakti, the science of these extraordinary Shaktis. We are going to now experientially see what it means to manifest this power, and let us understand through the power of body scanning. In this power of body scanning, one awakens their ability to scan the illnesses, diagnose any issues which is medically diagnosed, and provide solutions to the third eye. Now we will enter into the Shastra Pramana, the sacred lessons for the power of body scanning. Swadehe jagato vapi sukshma sukshmatarani cha tattvani yani nilayam dhyatvante vyajyate para. Bhagavan Paramashiva says, cognize deeply that from the subtle to the subtlest constitutive principles of your whole body, Swadeha of the whole universe, simultaneously consists of essential reality. They are being absorbed in their source cause, Paramashiva. By the experience of such restful awareness, one becomes complete from all thoughts, and the ultimate universal divine power, Adi Shakti, is revealed and supreme power manifestation happens. The Atma Brahmana is the reference from the life of an Apta or an authority of Hinduism. What is Atma Brahmana for the power of body scanning is from the life of Terayar. Terayar was a Siddha and one of the prominent disciples of Agastya. One day, a man suffering from a severe headache comes to Agastya Maharishi for healing. Agastya uses the power of body scanning and identifies the root cause of his illness. He diagnoses that there's a terai, a type of a small frog sitting in his brain grooves, causing the infection. Immediately, Terayar instructs his disciple to perform an open head surgery and completely remove it. And the disciple performs the surgery and successfully heals and cures the person of the headache, thus gaining the name Terayar. The next is the Atma Brahmana, an excerpt, an account from Swamiji's very own life. Here we all can see once when Swamiji had a multiple compound hand fracture and was forced to go through surgery and checkups related to that. At that time, Swamiji, as the living manifestation of Paramashiva, not just expressed, manifested, and established one of the beautiful attributes of Shishadha, being beyond pain. Swamiji also showed to the whole humanity of what it means to exist beyond any pain and suffering. Not just Swamiji had absolutely no pain or no suffering. You all can actually see the video clip as I'm talking to you all. Swamiji, literally any one normal person with a multiple compound hand fracture is bedridden, let alone being able to talk, but even being conscious in that state is extremely difficult.
And not just Swamiji was conscious, Swamiji revealed some of the most extraordinary revelations, the rarest secrets, and about the whole thing, what was actually happening in Swamiji's body to those blessed disciples that were around Swamiji at that time. Actually, this shows an extraordinary, first Swamiji playing this Leela to establish the truth that pain is a lie. And second, after that, for any medical opinions or anything that is happening for Swamiji during that time and after that also, the anti-Hindu elements had poisoned Swamiji's body. Swamiji did not go to a doctor and get the checkup and see how to do it. Instead, Swamiji did the body scanning, saw what are the imbalances which is there, and Swamiji prescribed what needs to be done, and Swamiji did it. And only as a second opinion to verify these, Swamiji went to the doctor.
Today, this experience that Swamiji revealed to the humanity by he himself living and manifesting it. Swamiji has gifted this as an experience, as a lifestyle to thousands of people. So many doctors, so many children, so many adults, so many people are benefiting from this extraordinary power in their day-to-day lives. Let us all now witness what it means to manifest this power of body scanning.
Anybody that wants to have your body scanning done, you can go ahead and leave a comment in the comment section in KAILASA's HDH Nithyananda YouTube channel. Just go ahead and leave a comment requesting for a body scanning to be done.
And we have Russell Montero Aya who's requested for a scan. Sure, Aya, we can manifest. If you can just tell, give us your consent saying yes, you would like to have a scan, we can go ahead and scan you. So we request you to just share your consent with us. Aya. You can leave a comment saying clearly saying that you would like to have a scan so that we are sure you're requesting for a scan.
Actually, just explain to all of you. For this whole power itself, it's like a beautiful thing that Swamiji has taught us, that any time if we want to do a scanning or a healing, we cannot do it without the consent of the other person. So this is how Swamiji has programmed the power itself. It will not work if we do it without the consent of the other person. So only with the consent of the other person, we will be able to scan and we will be able to see what are the defects in the body. So that also gives thing, it ensures that the whole thing, the manifestation, the power manifestation is never used in any destructive or negative way. So you all can go ahead and leave a comment in the comment section if you would like to have your body scanning done. Just leave a consent saying yes, you'd like to have your body scanning done for you.
And also we would like to share with all of you that as all of you when we are coming to body scanning done, just a reminder to all of us that this power of body scanning is a pure consciousness. And this is a result of the manifestation of pure consciousness. And hence, this no way becomes an alternative or a substitute or something equivalent to any kind of medical diagnosis or your visit to the doctor, anything of that sort whatsoever, because this only manifests from the space of oneness. The whole purpose of this manifestation is to share with each and every one of you the possibility that lays within each of us, which can be awakened effortlessly just through the Diksha by an avatar. So hence, when we share, when we scan anything and we share with you all and suggest some solutions, please make sure you visit your doctor, you take your medical opinion, medical advice, and only then go ahead with applying the suggestion.
Okay, so I'm seeing a comment from Anmol Singh ji. Nithyanandam Mas, I request you to please scan my sister. Taking her permission, she's having a feeling that there's an ulcer in her stomach and too much acidity all over her body. Doctors couldn't diagnose anything. Sure, Raya. So this is Manitya Tattvapriyananda, and I am going to be doing the body scanning for your sister now. So what I'm going to be doing is, I'm going to be chanting the Mahavakya, Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, and doing the scanning. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Yes, Nithyanandam. So what was revealed was, first thing, she does not need to worry. She does not have any ulcer, but she has few allergies to certain foods. First, her body is not able to digest the protein of any dals she is eating. The body is taking a long time to digest any sort of a dal. So any dal, I'll list down. There is a set of foods. If she eats, her body reacts with acidity. Dal, and she has lactose intolerance. Her body is not able to digest any of the dairy products. That is why when she drinks milk, it will feel like nothing is happening in the stomach. In matter of minutes, suddenly it will start burning. Exactly in her upper stomach, she'll be able to sense this burning. And she'll feel like sometimes if she drinks more milk and eats more dairy, any dairy products, even paneer, dahi, anything. So, I mean, curd. So anything she eats, it will be like her body will react. Specifically, her upper stomach would react to it. She'll feel like kind of a burning sensation. This is first thing, it is lactose intolerance. Second, in her gut, there are few places where slightly the intestine is slightly more curved. So because of which, she'll find it extremely difficult to pass motion. Many times she'll have the feeling of like feeling constipated, and she'll feel like very tired, and she'll feel a lot of heat getting generated in her system. And mainly she will also have some skin issues. And her body it's starting with the stomach, but it is also associated with these few things. The next is her mental health. Like many times she'll feel very extremely low. When she goes into a low and goes into a like a depressed way, she'll start questioning, saying like, why am I existing? Like in a kind of like a very negative way to her own self. But once that toxins get cleared off the body, like every time whether she goes to the restroom, comes back, and after she passes up, and once she has a clarity in her head, suddenly she'll feel very different about herself. It is because first thing, there's no ulcer, but there is a problem that is developing in the gut. First and foremost thing is since the curd or the milk is not being suitable for her system, she needs to eat something else which is going to be probiotic. She needs to avoid sugars, any sort of sweetness, sugars, and not even apples, not even bananas for some time. She can eat other foods, mainly vegetables, that will have lot of, that is like rich in and even in vegetables, she needs to avoid potatoes. And sweet potatoes she can eat, but potatoes she needs to avoid. So these foods, the vegetables, which does not have a lot of sugar in them, are the ones that is going to help her, especially things like spinach. So all those greens are only going to help her system. Her system needs to go through a thorough detox and a thorough recovery. She will also see her mouth has a bad odor because of this. She would also have a lot of breakouts happening very often. I mean, sorry, not often, very suddenly. But when it happens, it will happen in like at least 2-3 spots. This was not the issue just 2 years before. She was not having such a bad skin condition or anything like that. Even now, I'm not saying it is bad, but it is affecting because of the stomach. Acidity that she's experiencing is true. She does have stomach lining is getting affected. The spices are not suiting her. Actually, what is going to be suitable for her are lesser number of foods, and what she needs to avoid is going to be more, because her body has been affected a lot. So these are the few things I was able to see. And I'm going to be scanning again, because I think like more revelations are coming.
Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
We apologize for the technical glitch. Hope all of you are able to see us and hear us now. So, sorry, apologies. So, I was just sharing. There are a few more things that are coming. So, I'm just going to be scanning some more and I'm going to be sharing. Meanwhile, you can acknowledge how much you were able, how much your sister was able to relate to these scannings.
So I'm going to need to get back to this. How much of this you were able to relate to and whatever Mata Tukkya said. If you were able to relate with it and if you were able to see that market to that's what your sister is going through. So you can share it with us there in the comment section. Even invite to all those that are watching us. We have Mayu Anderson, Giselle Montero, anybody that needs a body scanning. This is the right time. You all can take a few minutes and go ahead and leave your comments in the comment section.
Actually, Anmol Simji, in case if you take a ultra scan for her stomach, you will, or any sort of a scan, you will not be able to find ulcers. Even the tiniest ulcer that can scan, even if you take the machine, you will not be able to find. But because the whole problem is not there, the problem is in the shape of the intestine that is curving towards her, I think the left side, like towards the bottom corner, and that is where she will be experiencing a lot of pain happening very frequently. Pain will be like as if something inside is like bulged suddenly, like how that would feel. That would be the sort of pain that she would be experiencing. And whenever she, I think, sorry, not the left side, right side corner of the abdomen. And actually, whenever she experiences the pain, it will be both in the front and like if you draw a straight line towards the back, how it will be like exactly at both the points, she'll experience the pain. And the irritation that she's feeling is because of acidity that is being caused, which is again in the upper stomach. Even the spicy foods are also causing all these. So I think like many of these foods she needs to avoid. She can eat a lot of spinach, lot of vegetables, and like even fruits she can eat. So this, once she is able to start, once actually what was also revealed is if she can start the Nirahara Samyama. It would be difficult for her in the beginning. It will be difficult. It will not be easy for her in the first 2 days. If she just prays to Swamiji, does the process, there's a meditation process, does the process and just does this whole Nirahara Samyama, suddenly, first thing will happen is so much of like you'll be seeing a visible difference in her face, visible difference in her body, and she will stop feeling any of these irritations happening in the stomach. Suddenly, she will start feeling so much more energy coming. Right now, a lot of lethargy is only happening in the system. That will shift to so much of energy. That will shift to suddenly the feeling that she has, oh no, people are like trying to distance her, not everybody likes her. All those feelings will disappear because suddenly she'll see whole, like everybody around her pouring love on her. So it will be the complete shift of personality that she is even carrying, because her whole problem is starting from the gut. Moment that gut is, but she has to be also be very careful to not when she consumes the juices, everything, to be a little careful not consume dal. Dal is that proteins are not getting digested in her system, and even milk also should be avoided. She will also be actually, if she can test it, if she just drinks any like some cold coffee or cold chocolate, even though it's cold, After she drinks, she'll experience a lot of heat and like a lot of burning sensation in her upper stomach. So this will show like how what the third eye is revealing is actually like the exact thing what is happening in the system, and let her not beat herself up thinking something is wrong with her. It is only the gut issue. The moment that gut is cleansed, she'll feel a lot of confidence even within herself. Lot of completion will happen. Her whole life will be transformed. So these were the things that are revealed there. Actually, Anmolji, I'm saying you're commenting saying, yes, she told everything is completely true. Actually, it would be really nice even if you could put like the points, what all she said she's able to relate with, so that like, even because like such detailed scanning had come.
And actually, Anmol, just want to share that you see this precision or like to this detail when the body scanning happens. That means, see, one is when we scan, along with that, even that intense Shakti Pada, what we call as that feeling connection with an avatar, with Swamiji, this power of body scanning is designed based on the software where it happens, it is enables, one is enabled to manifest this Shakti only when that person is intensely in Shakti Pada, in tune with what in the frequency of the divine, means in intense connection with Swamiji. Only at that time we can manifest something to the extent of seeing as into as deep as what is happening in somebody's intestine, what is happening in your body, whether their blood circulation is proper or not proper. Please understand, this whole software is highly secure, completely foolproof, authenticated, and the science means it can be applied to every single person. Like what we are manifesting, you too can manifest in your own life, and you too can scan another person's body and identify all these issues and illnesses with those people. So please understand this software is designed in such a way to enable one to manifest, to go deep, and to be able to see like even the subtlest of things and feel it completely. So Anmol ji, just want to share with you, when the scanning has happened, the being who receives the scanning also experiences a certain frequency of awakening and connection with the avatar. That itself enables the system, the body, to be able to automatically start healing itself spiritually. So this is a very beautiful process. So just wanted to share with you that even receiving the scan is a very powerful experience for that body, for that individual, so that they'll be empowered to start healing their own bodies, to start focusing, to start attending to their own bodies. So this is just one thing I want to share. Yeah?
Actually, Anmol Singh ji, you can make her listen to the whole scanning once more, because a lot of components she is associating with herself, like when things are not happening properly, or when she perceives that people are not liking her, all these things, she's associating all those directly to her own self. And if she just listens to the scanning and just follows the solution, of course, you can always go and get the input of the doctors and do it as per what a physician tells. But if she's able to do it, if she's able to do as per what the third eye has revealed, then she will see a tremendous shift that's happening inside her. So this is an amazing revelation that had come. And I also request if you could acknowledge in the comment section, have we ever like either seen you or seen your sister or know about it,
or
just
even
so that
before,
and just so that the viewers know that how this is a spontaneous thing that is happening. And anybody who wants your body to be scanned, you can go ahead and leave a comment in KAILASA's HDH Nithyananda YouTube channel in the comment section. Now we also have Andreas Kalpinis requesting for a scan.
Sure, yeah. I can manifest the power of body scanning with you.
So now Nithyananda is going to be chanting the Mahavakya and doing the scanning. Mahavakya is like literally a code, like passcode to connect directly with Swamiji, like instantly. anytime any issue is there, just hold your mala and chant Mahavakya. It like things just shift instantly. It's like a direct way how you can connect to Swamiji, experience this in so many situations. Literally, the situation which is like totally impossible to change will just shift completely. So Anmol Singh ji has gotten back saying the feelings and experiences which you told were the things she felt true, because diagnosis wasn't even done by some doctor. Anmol Singh ji, just to tell you, you can go to any doctors, they won't be able to diagnose this, because this is happening not at a physical level. It is happening as a psychosomatic disorder, like meaning like a psychological thing which is getting reflected onto the body. So if she attends to the body, that incompletion will get completed automatically. And these are not like, you will not see a physical evidence. That's why I said, like, you can go to any doctor, do any of these ultra scannings. You won't be able to find an ulcer. But the symptoms she is experiencing would be like what happens if you have an ulcer. And let's say she experiences sharp pains in her stomach. And the things that are happening, this is because around the age of 3, and as well as around the age of 6, there have been some incidents related to your mother that she has had, which has had a deep impact in her, which is why the things she projecting the same thing in life even now. She might not keep remembering that incident again and again because time has passed, but the cognition from those incidents is what is happening. Anmol Singh ji has gotten back saying a big thank you for helping us. What even 6 doctors couldn't diagnose, you could do it. So big thank you to you and Swamiji. Yeah, it is just Swamiji manifesting. Actually, I'm also amazed because I'm also sitting and only listening to whatever Swamiji is revealing right now. Because none of these I know. Of course, you know that I do not know anything about you or your sister. I haven't even seen, there's no like photograph or anything, right? And all we are doing is just connecting to Swamiji. That's what Swamiji is revealing to us. So whatever Swamiji is revealing is what we are sharing with you.
So, and then here actually what I saw when I scanned you here is that there is absolutely no issues that is happening in your body right now. And but one thing I'm seeing is you're not having a healthy food habit. That's the only thing that I am seeing. But unfortunately, that lead you to breathing toxins into your system, and also even if you're buying vegetables and everything, that is also passing toxins into your system because you're not organic. And more than all of that, I'm seeing that you have a very frequent dilution and digression of your food habits and your diet, which is why it is impacting your health. Apart from that, there is no issues in your system, Maya. You just have to complete, and where somewhere that you're stuck in life without making the right choice, without standing for your choice, that you have to complete and break. If you complete and break it ferociously, you will be able to have a breakthrough in your life. Right now, you're just living a monotonous life with the similar things happening every day. But you need to change it by making the decisions, completing, looking in, completing with what thought currents are happening in you. So this is what I saw here. And just helping us here. So you can get back to us in the comment section if you're able to get to it.
And Arnul Singh ji has also gotten back saying, I can't even imagine how Swamiji and you have come as a blessing in our life. I am just really telling you, it is just Swamiji who is manifesting for you and for your sister. Even you having this opportunity to come and receive the scan and listen to whatever Swamiji is revealing, it is, I mean, when we are sharing something, it is just Swamiji is showing us that. So that is what we're sharing. We are just a medium. The whole energy, the whole manifestation is what Swamiji is doing. And just imagine what Swamiji had experienced or did that Leela at the age of 12 of having his first experience. Today, Swamiji is given that to millions. That is why you and people so many people like you are able to receive such experiences, are able to get these blessings directly. Understand, if you feel like this science has to reach out to the world, this science has to be taken out to the world, we really humbly request, go ahead and offer whatever you can to Kailasa. Because what Swamiji is creating, this is just one power, like this 463 plus powers Swamiji is reviving and initiating all of us, making us all manifest these Shaktis, making each person excel in these. So Swamiji is creating a seed bank of all these, all such components of Hinduism called Kailasa. So you all can go ahead and offer whatever you want to offer to Kailasa.
And with this, we come to the conclusion of this segment of the power of body strength and manifestation of Shakti. Stay tuned with us. We thank each and one of you for participating with us. And we'll be moving on to our further celebrations of today on the 45th Avatar Dinotsav at Parashakti.
Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
What I mean by the word KAILASA, listen intensely. Enlightenment ecosystem, literally enlightenment itself, in your own home, wherever you are. If you cannot come to Kailasa, it's okay. Kailasa can come to you. Kailasa coming to you is Kailasa. I will revive Hinduism. I am a Hindu revivalist, not by any revolution, but by evolution. And setting model communities. Kailasas, enlightenment ecosystems, Sarvanya Pitas all over the world. All powerful cognition, knowledge, only when you live, power manifestation and possibilities manifestation happens. It's a fundamental truth. Hinduism cannot live exclusively as one sampradaya. No. All sampradayas of Hinduism is an ecosystem. So don't keep quiet thinking that if one sampradaya is attacked, only that sampradaya is going to be affected. All of us are ecosystem. I invite all of you to get involved and enjoy Hinduism by the principle of Dharmo Rakshati Rakshitaha. When you protect Dharma, Dharma protects you. We will make the whole planet flourish spiritually, the spiritual prosperity
black and gold planet here. We all have to coexist together.
We get you health. We get you ability to build beautiful relationships in your life. We get you direct spiritual support, and we make sure you become wealthy. We won't stop giving you just good life. We will literally not stop till you live enlightened life. Manifesting the state of Paramashiva, space of Paramashiva, powers of Paramashiva, being of Paramashiva. Whole world should become KAILAShians.
I want the whole world to know Hindus have something great to contribute to the world. We have something great to contribute to the world. Let us do that.
KAILASA is proper customized spiritual service helping you to identify your root patterns of suffering. We have perfected the science of helping every individual from every cultural, religious, nationality background. You will have lowest reactionary assumptions, highest awakened response, alive response for life continuously. KAILASA is enlightenment ecosystem, literally enlightenment itself in your own home, wherever you are. Proper customized spiritual service helping you to complete with your life negativity, withdrawal from life, self-hatred, self-denial, self-doubt, so much of tiredness, laziness. We can support you aligning your diet, your attitude, your aptitude, your understanding about life. We can help you with everything. If you are interested in enlightenment, we will immediately bring this to you. If you are not interested, we will explain the whole science, inspire you, and make you interested in enlightenment science. We need to cater this enlightenment science to the whole world wherever they are, because enlightenment is the birthright of all human beings. KAILASA is responsible to provide that to all human beings. KAILASA is the totality of the knowledge I received from my gurus and practice manifested in my life, perfected by teaching millions of people from all cultures, time zones, backgrounds, genders, nationality, race, from every creed. So this absolutely perfected knowledge available to you, served to you in your home without even you moving out of your couch, free of cost.
Just be alive for next 3 years. Don't die within next 3 years. Just don't die within next 3 years. Be alive. Somehow be alive. I'm working sincerely. I will reach you somehow. Somehow I will reach you. It's my commitment to humanity. Just don't die within next 3 years. I will reach you wherever you are, whichever corner of the world you may be. I will reach you with enlightenment. You manifesting the space, state, powers, being, Paramashivoham. It is possible, and it is possible for you. Paramashivoham will reach you with enlightenment science. I know he is going to do the job. Just be alive for next 3 years. Nothing else.
What I mean by the word KAILASA, listen intensely. Enlightenment ecosystem, literally enlightenment itself in your own home, wherever you are. If you cannot come to KAILASA, it's okay. KAILASA can come to you. KAILASA coming to you is KAILASA.
I will revive Hinduism. I am a Hindu revivalist, not by any revolution, but by evolution. And setting model communities. KAILASAs, enlightenment ecosystems, Sarvanya Peethas all over the world.
All powerful cognition, knowledge, only when you live, power manifestation and possibilities manifestation happens. This is a fundamental truth.
Hinduism cannot live exclusively as one sampradaya. No. All sampradayas of Hinduism is an ecosystem. So don't keep quiet thinking that if one sampradaya is attacked, only that sampradaya is going to be affected. All of us are ecosystem. I invite all of you to
get involved and enjoy Hinduism by the principle of Dharmo Rakshati Rakshitaha. When you protect Dharma, Dharma protects you. We will make the whole planet Earth flourish spiritually. The spiritual prosperity will happen to the whole planet Earth. We all have to coexist together. We get you health. We get you ability to build beautiful relationships in your life. We get you direct spiritual support, and we make sure you become wealthy. We won't stop giving you just good life. We will literally not stop till you live enlightened life. Manifesting the state of Paramashiva, space of Paramashiva, powers of Paramashiva, being of Paramashiva. Whole world should become KAILAShians. I want the whole world to know Hindus have something great to contribute to the world. We have something great to contribute to the world. Let us do that. KAILASA is proper customized spiritual service helping you to identify your root patterns of suffering. We have perfected the science of helping every individual from every cultural, religious, nationality background. You will have lowest reactionary assumptions, highest awakened response, alive response for life continuously. KAILASA is enlightenment ecosystem, literally enlightenment itself in your own home, wherever you are. Proper customized spiritual service helping you to complete with your life negativity, withdrawal from life, self-hatred, self-denial, self-doubt, so much of tiredness, laziness. We can support you aligning your diet, your attitude, your aptitude, your understanding about life. We can help you with everything. If you are interested in enlightenment, we will immediately bring this to you. If you are not interested, we will explain the whole science, inspire you, and make you interested in enlightenment science. We need to cater this enlightenment science to the whole world wherever they are, because enlightenment is the birthright of all human beings. KAILASA is responsible to provide that to all human beings. KAILASA is the totality of the knowledge I received from my gurus and practice manifested in my life perfected by teaching millions of people from all cultures, time zones, backgrounds, genders, nationality, race, from every creed. So this absolutely perfected knowledge available to you, served to you in your home without even you moving out of your couch, free of cost.
Just be alive for next 3 years. Don't die within next 3 years. Just don't die within next 3 years. Be alive. Somehow be alive. I'm working sincerely. I will reach you somehow. Somehow I will reach you. It's my commitment to humanity. Just don't die within next 3 years. I will reach you wherever you are, whichever corner of the world you may be. I will reach you with enlightenment. You manifesting the space, state, powers, being Paramashivoham. It is possible, and it is possible for you. Paramashivoham will reach you with enlightenment science. I know he is going to do the job. Just be alive for next 3 years. Nothing else.
What I mean by the word KAILASA, listen intensely. Enlightenment ecosystem, literally enlightenment itself, in your own home, wherever you are. If you cannot come to KAILASA, it's okay. KAILASA can come to you. KAILASA coming to you is KAILASA. I will revive Hinduism. I am a Hindu revivalist, not by any revolution, but by evolution. And setting model communities. KAILASAs, enlightenment ecosystems, Sarvanya Pitas all over the world. All powerful cognition, knowledge, only when you live, power manifestation and possibilities manifestation happens. This is a fundamental truth. Hinduism cannot live exclusively as one sampradaya. No. All sampradayas of Hinduism is an ecosystem.
So don't keep quiet thinking that if one sampradaya is attacked, only that sampradaya is going to be affected. All of us are ecosystem. I invite all of you to get involved and enjoy Hinduism.
Nithyanandam. Welcome back to your viewers. So now we'll be entering into the next segment and understanding who is Devi Parashakti, the divine cosmic mother herself. So as we are getting ready and entering into this program and into having all the rituals in the temple, celebrating this auspicious day of the Gregorian Jayanti of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, you can take a few minutes now to go ahead and join as a member of KAILASA's HDH Nithyananda YouTube channel. It's a very simple process. You can just go to the channel, and next to the subscribe button, you will see a join button, and you can continuously stay connected and have access to exclusive content, as well as access to be able to comment in the live YouTube comments and ask your questions directly to the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself. So now, let us enter into this next segment and understand who is Devi Parashakti, the divine feminine consciousness. So the Dhyana Shloka for Devi Parashakti describes that the divine cosmic mother is to be meditated upon as shining in a vermilion red body with the triple eyes, sporting a crown of rubies, studded with the crescent moon, a face all smiles, a splendid bust, one hand holding a jewel cup brimming with mead, and the other twirling a red lotus. And the Dhyana Shloka continues on. I meditate on the great empress. She is red in color, and her eyes are full of compassion, and holds the noose, the goad, the bow, and the flowery arrow in her hands. She is surrounded on all sides by powers such as Anima, and she is a self within me. Devi is the ultimate pure feminine consciousness. Parashakti is the cosmic mother. It is her cosmic womb from which billions and billions of universes come out and go in. The source where the Big Bang and black holes go on. Parashakti is the source Shakti, source energy, source power, from which all of us came, in which all of us are even now, in which all of us are going to merge. And out of her extreme love and compassion, Parashakti herself is manifesting through the embodied form as the Nijavatar, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, erasing us, answering all of our questions, attending to our prayers, giving wounds, healing us, revealing our past, present, and future, and delivering profound spiritual truths, and ultimately giving us the experience of Paramashivoham itself. And in the words of Devi Parashakti herself, blazing as Omkara, expressing as the Vedas and Agamas, blossomed as Rimkara, filled as Parashakti, living in the 40 triangles, the KAILASA Swami, who is the KAILASA Tripura Chintamani, Parashakti, sitting as part of Paramashiva, Parameshwari, who rules the world, Paramashakti, Manonmani, Meenakshi, as Nithyananda, it took Nijavatara here to give good boon to everyone, to bestow all goodness. Hiranya Garbha Swarupini, Brahmanda Yoni, Shami, Chandramauli, Rapala, Aparna, Uma, Parvati, Savitri, Navayavana, Samraj Lakshmi, Parameshwari, Parashodasi, Meenakshi, taking the form of Nithyananda, I came here as Nijavatara. With great compassion and blessing, listen people to do good to all of you. I took the form of Nithyananda and came down as Nijavatara. And Devi continues on describing herself. Raising in Omkara, blossoming as Shiva, Shiva manifesting as the source of existence, the powers of existence, the expression of existence, from the oneness of Om, blossoming into two as Prakriti and Purusha, blossoming as the three Shaktis, Icha, Kriya, Jnana, growing as the four Vedas, expanding as the five Panchabhutas, beyond the six chakras, filled as the Gotaras of the seven Rishis, expanding as the eight directions, existing as the nine Grahas, blossoming as the 10 Indriyas, being as the 11 Rudras, creating all the worlds, bringing life to tell and make truth blossom, and to do good. Parashakti, Meenakshi, in the form of Nithyananda, I came to bless every one of you. So this is Devi Parashakti describing herself about how she is manifested and is here to bless each and every one of us. So how best to receive Devi Parashakti's blessings? How can we receive everything that Devi is offering us and blessing us with? In the words of the Supreme Quantum Wisdom himself, literally, you are seeing Paramashiva in Parashakti at that moment. She is there in your screen. So always receive her very traditionally. Keep 2 betel leaf, 1 banana, 1 betel nut, and 1 coin in front of the screen. And watch the Devi. The coin is considered the traditional dakshina in Hindu tradition. It can be even of the lowest value. In India, it can be even 1 paisa. In US, it can be even 1 cent. I am not trying to monetize. Keep even 1 cent. It is okay. So for 100 days, if you have darshan, it will add up to $1. In India, even 1 paisa is okay. And the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism continues on. Offer that to Devi after the darshan is over. Do namaskar and eat the banana, the betel leaf, and betel nut. Take it as prasadam immediately. Collect those coins and send them to the LA temple. This betel leaf, betel nut may look too small, but in a few days you will see how much it adds to your sentiment that really she is there. You will not take the Devi darshan for granted. Rituals will break your monotonous, unconscious mentality and lifestyle and remind you and raise you to the next level, to the powerful cognition. It will break your unconscious behavior. So here in the next slide, you can see how to arrange your tambulam, your plate to offer to Devi Parashakti. You can keep 2 betel leaf, 1 banana, 1 betel nut, and 1 coin. And you can offer that to Devi. Every time that you have darshan, you can offer this, and you'll see just from this one small sentiment how much your connection with Devi Parashakti grows. So now with this, we'll be entering into the next segment and understanding some of the many sacred revelations made by Devi Parashakti during the Akashic readings. So first, let us listen to Devi Parashakti's revelations made on the 31st of May, 2021, about the sacred secrets of Hindu birth. Yes, and as we are getting ready to watch this video, understand that Devi Parashakti has been continuously manifesting and blessing us. And if you would like to also receive Devi Parashakti's blessings, you can go ahead and join as a member of KAILASA's HDH Nithyananda YouTube channel. So now let's watch Devi Parashakti's revelations.
நன்றாய் கேட்டுக்கொள். உன் கேள்விக்கு உன்மூலமாய் உலகெங்கும் இருக்கும் இந்துக்கள் எல்லோர்க்கும் அளிக்கின்றேன் உத்திரம். கேட்டு வாழ்ந்தால் உங்கள் வாழ்க்கை பத்திரம். நன்றாய் கேளுங்கள். பிறப்பின் ரகசியத்தை பிறப்பிலா பெருமை உடைய பரமேஸ்வரி சொல்லுகின்றேன் கேளுங்கள். அண்டஜம், யோனிஜம், ஜலஜம், பீஜம் எனும் 4 விதமான பிறவிகளில் 84,000 யோனிகளில் பிறக்கும் பிறப்புகளிலேயே பெருமை வாய்ந்ததும் உத்தமமானதும் மனித பிறவி. அந்த மனித பிறவியிலும் பலமுறை பிறந்து உழன்று அரசியல், பொருளாதாரம், சுகபோகம், தர்மம், அர்த்தம், காமம் எனும் ஆசைகள், துக்கங்கள், அச்சங்கள் அனைத்திலும் அழன்று உழன்று இனி வேண்டாம் இப்பிறவி, வேண்டுவது மோட்சமே என்று முடிவெடுத்தோர்க்கு மட்டுமே ஹிந்து மத யோனிஜம், ஹிந்து பெற்றோர்க்கு பிறந்திடும் சனாதன ஹிந்து தர்ம யோனிஜம், மனித பிறவி உத்தமம், சனாதன ஹிந்து தர்ம மனித பிறவி உத்தமோத்தமம். இந்த உத்தமோத்தம பிறவி எடுத்த எல்லோருக்கும் ஜீவன் முக்த விஞ்ஞானத்தையும் சனாதன தர்மத்தையும் காக்கின்ற கடமையும் உண்டு. அதனால் வருகின்ற நன்மையெல்லாம் அனுபவிக்கும் உரிமையும் உண்டு. இந்த கடமையை செய்வோம் என்று சத்தியம் செய்ததனால்தான் அந்த உரிமை அளிக்கப்பட்டது. பூமிக்கு வந்தபின் மனம் மயங்கி மதிமயங்கி சனாதன தர்மம் காக்க மறந்ததனால் மாயை அவர்கள் உயிரை பறிக்கின்றாள். நன்றாய் புரிந்து கொள்ளுங்கள். உயிரை கொடுத்தாலும் தர்மத்தை காப்போம் என்று உறுதி எடுத்தவர்க்கே சனாதன ஹிந்து தர்ம யோனிஜம் அளிக்கின்றேன் யான். உடல் பெற்ற பிறகு ஆசை அச்சங்களை உதறவிடாது, உதறியும் விடாது சனாதன ஹிந்து தர்மம் காக்க மறந்தோரை உயிர் வாழத் தகுதியில்லாதவர் பட்டியலில் உடனடியாய் மாயை சேர்க்கின்றாள். அதனால் ராட்சசர்களும் அசுரர்களும் தானாகவே இவர்கள் உயிரை எடுக்கின்றார். நன்றாய் புரிந்து கொள்ளுங்கள். உயிரை கொடுத்தாலும் தர்மம் காப்போம் என்று நிற்பவர்க்கு நிலைத்திடும் வீரஸ்வர்க்கமும் கைலாச பதவியும், எக்காரணம் கொண்டும் தர்மம் காக்க மறந்த உத்தமோத்தம ஜனனமான சனாதன ஹிந்து ஜனனம் பெற்ற மக்களுக்கு இல்லை வேறு கதி. சனாதன ஹிந்து தர்ம மனித ஜனனம் உத்தமோத்தம மனித ஜனனம். உங்கள் உரிமை உலகில் அதிகம், உங்களுக்கு கடமையும் உலகில் பெரிது. தர்மம் காத்தாலே கடமை, தர்மம் காக்காதார்க்கு உயிர் வாழும் உரிமை இல்லை. நன்றாய் புரிந்து கொள்ளுங்கள். உத்தமோத்தம பிறவியான சனாதன ஹிந்து தர்ம பிறவி எடுத்த எல்லோரும் புரிந்து கொள்ளுங்கள். உங்கள் வாழ்வின் முதற்கடமை தர்மம் காத்தல். தர்மம் காக்க தர்மம் உங்களை காக்கும். சனாதன ஹிந்து தர்மம் காக்க மறந்திட்டால் வாழும் உரிமையை நீங்கள் இழந்து விடுகின்றீர்கள். அதற்கு மேல் வாழ்ந்தென்ன அழிந்தென்ன? பூமிக்கு பாரம் குறையட்டும் என்று அசுரர்களும் ராட்சதர்களும் உங்களை உண்டு தீர்க்கின்றார்கள். அதையும் மாயை கண்டு சும்மாவிருப்பாள். பிரபஞ்ச ரகசியத்தை, பிறவியின் ரகசியத்தை உலகிற்கெல்லாம் உத்தரமாய்ச் சொல்லிவிட்டேன். புரிந்து வாழ்வில் நடந்து உயிரை பத்திரமாய் பார்த்துக் கொள்ளுங்கள். அன்னை சொல்லும் அருள் சத்தியம் இது. ஓம் ஓம் ஓம்.
So now let us understand what Devi Parashakti
Right,
has revealed, mapped into English. Devi revealed about the secret
கேள்விக்கு
of
உன்மூலமாய்
birth. So let us understand Devi
உலகெங்கும்
Parashakti's
இருக்கும்
revelations
இந்துக்கள்
mapped into English.
எல்லோருக்கும் அளிக்கின்றேன் உத்தி.
Devi reveals, listen, Andajam, Yonijam, Jalajam, Bijam, like this in 4 types of births, in 84 lakh yonis. In all of these births, the most greatest birth of them all is the human birth. Even in that human birth, being born and toiled many times, after getting burnt and toiled in politics and finance, in luxuries and dharma, artha, kama. And those who decide of not wanting this birth, wanting only moksha, only those will have Hindu dharma yonijam, and the Sanatana Hindu dharma yonijam of being born to Hindu parents. Human birth is uttamam, the best of the best. Sanatana Hindu dharma, human birth, is uttamottamam, the best of the best. Everyone who took this uttamottama birth has the responsibility of protecting the science of living enlightenment and Sanatana Dharma. And also they have the right of experiencing its benefits. This right was given to them because of their commitment given by them to do this responsibility. And after coming to Bhuloka, by getting mentally deluded and forgetting the dharma of protecting Sanatana Dharma, Maya, she is taking away all their souls. Understand carefully, I am giving the Sanatana Hindu Dharma Yonijam only for those who gave the commitment of protecting Sanatana Hindu Dharma, even by giving their life. And after getting the body, because of painful delusion, not dropping fear and greed, for those who forgot to protect Sanatana Hindu Dharma, Maya, she will immediately add them all to the list of those who are not worthy of living. And Devi continues on, therefore, Rakshasas and Asuras are automatically taking away their life. Understand properly, for those who stand that even by giving their life, they will protect Dharma, will permanently have Virasvarga in KAILASA Padavi. For any reason, people who forgot to protect Sanatana Hindu Dharma, having the Uttama birth of Sanatana Hindu Dharma birth, there is no other way for them. Sanatana Hindu Dharma human birth is Uttamottama human birth. Your rights in this world are immense. Also, your responsibility in this world is large. Protecting Dharma is responsibility. Those who do not protect Dharma, they do not have the right to live. Understand properly. All those who took the Uttama birth, which is not the Hindu Dharma birth, all of you understand. The first responsibility of your life is protecting Dharma. If you protect Dharma, Dharma will protect you. If you forget to protect Sanatana Hindu Dharma, you lose the right of living. After that, what bothers whether you live or get destroyed? Asuras and Rakshasas will eat you so that burden on earth is reduced. Seeing that, Maya, she will keep quiet. So now we've understood what Devi Parashakti has revealed. Let us understand in a little bit more detail about what is the responsibility of Hindus as revealed by Devi Parashakti, and why we need the Hindu nation, why the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has built this whole KAILASA just for protecting Sanatana Dharma and all its great gifts to fulfill this responsibility and fulfill the commitment of all of the 2 billion Hindus.
What I mean by the word KAILASA, listen intensely. Enlightenment ecosystem, literally enlightenment itself, in your own home, wherever you are. If you cannot come to KAILASA, it's okay. KAILASA can come to you. KAILASA coming to you is KAILASA.
Not by revolution, but by evolution. Modern community. KAILASA, Enlightenment ecosystem, Sarvasthita all over the world.
All powerful cognitions, knowledge, only when you live, power manifestation and possibilities manifestation happens. It's a fundamental thing.
Cannot do exclusively about Sampradaya. No. All Sampradayas are Hindus. I invite all of you to get involved and enjoy Hinduism by the principle of Dharma Rakshasya. Then you protect Dharma, Dharma protect you. Flourish, spiritual prosperity.
Yes, welcome back, dear viewers. Now let us continue and understand what Devi Parashakti has revealed about the responsibility of Hindus. What exactly do Hindus need to do to fulfill this responsibility? First, let us understand that Hinduism represents the world's most ancient yet progressive indigenous spiritual tradition. It is an open framework model of civilization that stands for global peace, vegetarianism, nonviolence, yoga, the worship of nature, and temple-based living, manifesting spiritual powers and the inherent divinity of every human being. The Hindu nations were ecosystems where more and more enlightened beings could be produced so that enlightened civilization could be kept alive and its great gifts shared with the world. So now let us understand, let us look at some of the references of Hindu nations from our Hindu scriptures. So the first reference, one of the most famous Hindu Rajas, the Ramarajya, was the Hindu nation ruled by Bhagwan Rama, and it was described in the Valmiki Ramayana. There were no widows to lament, nor there was any danger from wild animals, nor any fear born of diseases. The world was bereft of thieves and robberies. No one felt worthless, nor did old people perform obsequies concerning youngsters. Every creature felt pleased. Everyone was intent on virtue, turning their eyes towards Rama alone. Creatures did not kill one another. And it continues on. People survived for thousands of years, thousands of their progeny, all free of illness and grief. The trees there were bearing flowers and fruits regularly, without any injury by pests and insects. The clouds were raining in time, and the wind was delightful to the touch. Every caste was performing their own duties, satisfied with their own work and bereft of any greed. People were intent on virtue and lived without telling lies. All people were endowed with excellent characteristics. All were engaged in virtue. And another famous Hindu kingdom, which was described in the Srimad Mahabharata, the Hastinapur kingdom ruled by Yudhishthira, was described in the Srimad Mahabharata. Devas granted rains to fulfill all wants. The world became free of all diseases. There was no hunger or thirst anywhere. There was no mental suffering, and those without livelihood were given livelihood. There was abundance all around. There was no worldly worries left for anyone, and there was no cause for fear either. Happiness on earth was in fact even greater than in the heavens. So you can just see the standards of what they considered a successful kingdom, not what the GDP of the kingdom or the power of the kingdom, but rather that people were living without mental suffering, and that there was no hunger or thirst anywhere, that people had no worldly worries. Everyone was living with virtue. This was the standard for which they measured how successful the kingdom was, how successful the leaders of that kingdom were. And Hindu nations had so much to contribute in every single field, whether it was in the field of enlightenment, health, medicine, art, science, technology, aviation, dance and music, clothes and jewelry, social systems, judicial systems, political systems, legal systems. In every field, Hindu nations gave breakthroughs, which is why everyone was always in every field felt satisfied with their own work, and as it was described, were bereft of any greed. So now let us understand, after thousands of years of these successful Hindu kingdoms faced an onslaught of attacks over the course of 1,000 years, and they were destroyed. What we had once was 56 deshas, 56 countries that were Hindu kingdoms. Now we don't even have one except for KAILASA. And this was because of various invasions, various attacks. So now let us look at this and how our Hindu kingdoms were destroyed. The destruction of Hindu civilization happened through 3 phases. The first came with the Islamic Invasions. This was between 800 and 1700 AD. This was the physical destruction of the Hindu civilization. And Will Durant, a famous historian who has studied Hinduism and India, has described that the Muhammadian conquest of India is probably the bloodiest story in history. The Islamic historians and scholars have recorded with great glee and pride the slaughters of Hindus, the forced conversions of Hindu women, the forced conversions and abduction of Hindu women and children to slave markets, and the destruction of temples carried out by the warriors of Islam during 800 to 1700 AD. Millions of Hindus were converted to Islam by sword during this period, and millions more were raped and murdered and dismembered. And in the Islamic law prescribed for Hindus as conveyed to Khilji, it's described that Hindus are like mud. If silver is demanded from them, they must, with greatest humility, offer gold. If a Mohammedan desires to spit into a Hindu's mouth, the Hindu should open it wide for that purpose. And it's described that God created the Hindus to be slaves for the Mohammedans. The Prophet had ordained that if the Hindus do not accept Islam, they should be imprisoned, tortured, and finally put to death, and their property confiscated. To keep the Hindus in abasement is especially religious duty, because they are the most inveterate enemies of the Prophet. You can see from these two descriptions how barbaric the Islamic invasions were, how brutal these Islamic invasions were, and how they physically destroy the Hindu civilization, whether the women, children, the temples, the scriptures, all of this were destroyed during this Islamic invasions. And during this time, over 200 million Hindus were slaughtered by Muslim invaders. 100,000 Hindu temples were destroyed, and over 1 million deities and sculptures were destroyed. And Kanhadad Prabhanda has described that the conquering armies burned villages, devastated the land, plundered people's wealth, took Brahmins and children and women of all classes captive, flogged them with thongs of rawhide, carried a moving prison with them, and converted the prisoners into obsequious Turks. So this was, as we stated, the physical destruction of the Hindu civilization, and you can see how brutal it was. Now, next came the economic and psychological destruction of the Hindu civilization. And while this was a little bit more subversive, it was equally destructive to the Hindu civilization. This came with the British occupation between 1700 and 1947 AD. So while they did not directly attack and kill, murder, dismember the Hindu civilization, destroy the Hindu temples as their predecessors, the Islamic invaders, the British occupation was a little bit more cunning and subversive in their attack on Hindus. Will Durant, a famous historian, has described, "I have seen a great people starving to death before my eyes, and I'm convinced that this exhaustion and starvation are due not, as their beneficiaries claim, to overpopulation and superstition, but to the most sordid and criminal exploitation of one nation by another in all recorded history." And here he describes the attack of the British on the Hindu population, which was not a direct attack, but through various means like false famines, induced famines. Here you can see the photo of the Bengal famine, which left millions of people starved to death. And the British Empire used all possible means to destroy the Hindu civil and cultural institutions in order to delegitimize and demoralize the indigenous people of India, so that they would become slaves in their own homeland. And this included discriminatory laws to instill feelings of racial inferiority, engineering artificial famines to starve the natives into submission, annexing Hindu kingdoms to undermine native rule, mistranslating Hindu scriptures to instill anti-Hindu narratives, destroying the indigenous Gurukul education system, destroying local industries and forcing importation of British goods, and finally banning Indians from owning or producing firearms. So this whole attack on the Hindu population destabilized the indigenous population in order for the British to be able to control them and force their ideas, their ideologies upon the Hindu population. And this was done through subjugation. This is as described in the British master race theory. Using theories of scientific racism, social Darwinism, the British justified their conquest and oppression of the dark-skinned people as a humanitarian civilizing mission, even though it was a mere cover for racial oppression and economic exploitation. So the British described it as their God-given right to bring the so-called the Hindus, the pagans, out of their misery by ruling over them, by oppressing them, by and civilizing them, as they claimed. And Charles Kingsley, a celebrated professor and historian, and a friend of Charles Darwin, and the priest in the Church of England, has described in 1846 that, "Do you not see then that by following these studies you are walking in the very path to which England owes her wealth, the glorious work which God seems to have laid on English race to replenish the earth and to subdue it." So as you can see, they claim it as their right to subdue the Hindu population. And this was over 200 years of intense racial hatred towards the Hindus. James Mill, a celebrated author of the seminal work, The History of British India, and intellectual leader for the generation of East India Company civil servants, has described that Hindus are full of dissimulation and falsehood, the universal concomitants of oppression. The vices of falsehood, indeed, they carry to a height almost unexampled among the other races of men. As for religion, no people have ever drawn a more gross and disgusting picture of the universe than what is presented in the writings of the Hindus. Very few words are required regarding Islam, because the superiority of the Mohammedans in respect of religion is beyond all dispute. In truth, the Hindus, like the eunuch, excel in their qualities of a slave. The Mohammedan is more manly. So they claim that Hindus have the qualities of slaves. And not only that, they describe that the Hindu understanding of the universal cosmos and cosmology is gross and disgusting. And however, as we've progressed in science, modern day science has confirmed and verified that the Hindu teachings, the Hindu understanding of cosmology is in fact accurate. After thousands of years, modern day science has caught up, but Hindus have known this many, many thousands of years earlier. However, the British have described this as wrong, immoral, and gross. And the British used a divide and rule strategy in order to conquer the Hindu kingdoms and to destroy these Hindu kingdoms. Sajid, the ruler of the Indian Parliament, has described that the British had been horrified during the revolt of the 1857 to see Hindus and Muslims fighting side by side and under each other's command against the foreign oppressor. They vowed this would not happen again. Divide et impera, divide and rule, was an old Roman maxim, and it shall be ours, wrote Lord Elphinstone. A systematic policy of fomenting separate consciousness among the two communities was launched with overt British sponsorship. So in order to ensure that the Hindus were continued to be oppressed, they used a divide and rule strategy so that the Hindus and Muslims would work against each other and in favor of the British. And another way in order to subjugate the Hindus was one of the most brutal, inhumane ways, through engineering artificial famines to break the very spirit of the people. And Madhushi Mukherjee, in Churchill's Secret War, has described the British Empire and the ravaging of India during the World War II. And he describes that Winston Churchill, the Prime Minister of UK, has stated that, "I hate Indians. They are a beastly people with a beastly religion. The famine was their own fault for breeding like rabbits." And Mukherjee has described that harsh British tax and export policies and poor infrastructure management caused multiple famines in India, claiming tens of millions of lives. More recently in Bengal in 1943, Indians were forced to eat leaves, grass, and human flesh, and parents threw their starving children into rivers and wells, while others committed suicide to escape their living hell. So literally the way, the ecosystem, the environment that the British had created was worse than living itself, that many people felt their life was worse than living. It was worse to live than just die in that moment, because of how brutal the British were to the Hindu population. And they also destroyed the local industry to ensure dependence and poverty upon the indigenous population in India. Prior to colonial rule, India was the world's leading textile manufacturer and produced the finest fabrics. The British engaged in a systematic campaign to destroy the local handloom industry through harsh taxation and export policies that forced India to import British-made textiles and banned Indian textiles from being sold in foreign markets. Within a generation, Indian weavers were turned into beggars and their indigenous skills were lost forever. So this was one of the many strategies that the British used in order to ensure that the Hindu population did not have independence, did not have a way to support themselves, were forced to depend on the British and lost their craft, their traditions, their culture. This is not just done with textile weavers, but all craftsmen across India and across the indigenous population. And prior to the British rule, India was known across the world for its textiles, for many, many things. However, the British systematically destroyed this. And as well, the British also attacked the Indian Railway, so in order to make sure that they were dependent on the East British India Company. So in the era of darkness, it was described that by 1878, the Indian railway mechanics in Jamalpur in Bengal and Ahmad in Rajputana had become so proficient at maintaining locomotive trains that they started designing and building their own models at a fraction of the cost of imported British trains. The British Parliament responded by passing an act in 1912 banning all local manufacture of trains to ensure India's economic dependence on their colonial masters and to destroy the native technological know-how. So not only did they force economic dependence upon the British, but they also destroyed the advancement of the Hindu technology, the Indian technology that the indigenous population was building. And another method for subjugating the Hindu population was through seizure, taxation, and the ruin of our Hindu temples. And it was described in Poetic Journal that it was a strange but determined piece of policy when throughout the country, the pagoda lands were resumed by the East India Company and Tustek allowances were granted in their place. Now let us contemplate the results of this plan. From one end of the country to the other, the pagodas are ruined, unmaintained. The revenues of the Tripati are on a gradual decline, and yes, sorry for the technical glitch. Yes, sorry for the technical glitch. So as we're describing, the revenues of the Tripati are on a gradual decline and will die in the lapse of years. a natural death, some of the most celebrated temples in the country are worse off, but there are still, alas, many more strongholds of the devil. So literally, it was described as the place of the devil, the Hindu temples, and they intentionally destroyed these Hindu temples in order to, again, subjugate the colonial population, to subjugate the indigenous population. And during the survey of the indigenous education in Madras presidency, it was found that many times the British had actually created false anti-Hindu narratives. They described that the British rulers perpetuated the narrative that Indians were generally illiterate and education was restricted to high caste Hindus. But their own surveys revealed that every village had at least one school, and Shudras and other low caste children constituted 70 to 84% of those students. In contrast, a century of direct British misrule of India left the population with a dismal 12% literacy rate. And Thomas Macaulay of the East India Company has also described about how the British had intended to create a class of brown British natives. And he describes, we must at present do our best to form a class who may be interpreters between us and the millions who we govern. A class of persons Indian in blood and color, but English in taste, in opinions, in morals, and in intellect. To that class, we may leave it to refine the vernacular dialects of the country, to enrich those dialects with terms of science borrowed from the Western nomenclature, and to render them by degrees of fit vehicles for conveying knowledge to the great mass of the population. And despite their best efforts to adopt the English language, clothing, and mannerisms, the anglicized brown British native clerks of India were often viewed with contempt and ridiculed as Bengali bamboos by their white masters for their ornate speech, self-importance, and fawning attitude towards any Westerners that they meet. And another method that the British used to subjugate the Hindu population, subjugate the indigenous population, was to convert the native Rajas into proper British gentlemen. Here you can see one photo and one example of such, a Hindu king who was, of course, converted to what the British claimed as a proper British gentleman. And in the Mayo College, it was described in the Eton of India, it's described that concerned at the rising awareness of nationalism after the Indian Mutiny of 1857, the British realized that to strengthen their hold in India, they being just a handful, needed to widen their political and psychological management of India and the Indians. Thus, they began to focus on the education of the native princes and the pursuit of the objectives in Macaulay's Minute on Education of 1837 to create a class of people in India, Indian in blood and color, but English in opinions, in morals, and in intellect. And they became the cornerstone of their strategy. So specifically targeting the ruling class in order to convert them into follow their British ideology, British mannerisms and culture, and slowly trickling down to the rest of the Hindu population. And the British also criminalized the indigenous communities through various means. One of the most outright inhumane acts was the Criminal Tribals Act of 1871. And the British government passed the Criminal Tribes Act, where various ethnic communities were deemed subversive to colonial authority simply because they did not conform to their idea of civilized living. They targeted populations such as the sadhus, sannyasis, tribals, nomads, gypsies, and shudras, who were presumed guilty by birth, murdered, raped, arrested, and children were separated from parents, held in penal colonies, or quarantined without conviction or due process. Upon release from British custody, they targeted communities these targeted communities were subject to surveillance and given tattoos to stigmatize them and make them easier to mark. And another act in order to criminalize the indigenous communities was the Thuggy and Dacoity Act, the Aspiration Acts. In an effort to demonize the Hindus and feed the stereotypes of the savage Orientals, British authorities and media sensationalized stories of bloodthirsty Thuggies or bandits who would offer human sacrifices to the wicked and fearsome goddess Kali. The image of the Thuggy was promoted worldwide as an example of all that was wrong with India. So actually this word Thuggy has now been used. The word thug actually comes from this word Thuggy. And now that word is used to describe delinquents or criminals. However, this was just something that the British had stereotyped, had given a false narrative to the indigenous community, and now it's spread worldwide and is still used as a demeaning term to describe criminals and to describe delinquents. However, this was actually an indigenous population in India, which the British had falsely portrayed in order to, again, subjugate the community and to criminalize the indigenous community. And in addition to denigrating the Hindu culture, the narrative of the Thuggy menace was also used to justify colonial rule, suspend civil liberties, and to target subversive elements that challenged the British hegemony. And during the British occupation, over $45 trillion was looted from India over the course of 200 years. 45 million Hindus died due to artificial famines and poverty imposed by the British policies and the reprisal killings of the 1857 Union. And 680 native kingdoms were usurped by the British Raj. And Sachi Tharoor of the Indian Parliament has described that the British came to one of the richest countries of the world, and over 200 years of exploitation, looting, and destruction reduced it to a poster child of third world poverty. So after the British occupation came the secularization of India, and along with it, the anti-Hindu ecosystem, anti-Hindu narrative has been continued on. sorry for the technical glitch. So the next phase of the destruction of the Hindu civilization came with the secularization of India. This was between, again, 1947 till present day. So despite the British having left and India being a so-called secular country, this was still ruled by brown faces, British attitudes and policies toward the Hindus. So this entire ecosystem that the British had left behind still remained. The anti-Hindu narratives, the anti-Hindu agenda and ecosystem still remained. And Nehru, the first Prime Minister of India, has described what a disgusting, savage people we are. Politics, progress, socialism, communism, science. Where are they before this black religious savagery? India can never be a Hindu republic. And B.R. Ambedkar, the first Law Minister of India and the principal architect of the Indian Constitution, one of the primary influencers of our nation, of the Indian nation, has described that if the Hindu Raj does become a fact, it will no doubt be the greatest calamity for this country. No matter what the Hindus say, Hinduism is a menace to liberty, equality, and fraternity. It is incompatible with democracy. Hindu Raj must be prevented at any cost. So these are the first rulers of the so-called secular India, the so-called, after the British had left. However, they clearly still carried the same attitude towards the Hindu population and had a very clear anti-Hindu agenda. And during the secularization of India, the modern Indian legal system, academia, and media have all systematically undermined, suppressed, and delegitimized Hindu institutions and culture through various means and India's constitution has established government control and taxation over Hindu temples, schools, and other institutions, while other religions are free from this interference. And Articles 26 through 30 of India's constitution discriminates against Hindus by giving special rights and benefits to non-Hindus. This includes government benefits and scholarships, and Hindu kingdoms and self-governance has been completely abolished. So while this is something that should be noted specifically, because while the British were still in rule in India, there were still some Hindu kingdoms that remained. However, after the secularization of India, all of the Hindu kingdoms came under the so-called secular Indian constitution, and all of the native kingdoms were completely usurped by and destroyed. And other means that the British, the secularized, other ways that Hindus have been discriminated against after secularization in India, anti-superstition laws have been passed to criminalize Hindu practices, and the mainstream Indian academia have described Hindus as sexist, racist, backwards, and oppressors, and negative Indian media portrayals of Hindus in Bollywood and TV have done the same. And Bollywood and other mainstream media outlets consistently portray Hindu gods and gurus as cartoonish, dishonest, corrupt, and sex fiends in a manner that is similar to the British imperial propaganda. So this stereotype, this false narrative that the British had created, has been perpetuated by the so-called secular rulers of India, the so-called secular India. And media narratives have been used to shape human consciousness and further political agenda. Racist British colonial stereotypes portraying Hindus as superstitious, backwards, dishonest, corrupt are perpetuated by the British Brown successors in modern day India, completely unabated. Here you can see some of the examples of how Hindus were portrayed in the in Indian media. So now that we've understood about the destruction of the Hindu civilization, how it was carried out over the course of 1,000 years, and how Hindus have been left with nothing, no political legitimacy, nor any legitimacy in every aspect they've lost. So let us understand, what is the need for the revival of our nations? During the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has actually given the vision for the Hindu civilization. And to quote the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism directly, Hindus during the time of the Mahabharata During the time of the Mahabharata, we Hindus had 56 deshas, 200 states, 1,700 samsthanas, and 10,000 sampradayas. In all 56, we Hindus are persecuted. Now we have lost all 56. The last of all was Nepal. I am the collective voice of all the persecuted Hindus. I will revive and rebuild a Hindu nation built on the Vedagamic principles as a refuge for all practicing and aspiring Hindus, as a safe haven for all the persecuted Hindus. That is exactly what the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has done with building this whole KAILASA. So what is KAILASA? KAILASA is the revival of KAILASA is the Hindu nation is for reviving this whole life of enlightened civilization and sharing all the great things it has to offer to the world, bringing legitimacy to all the offerings that Sanatana Hindu Dharma has and sharing it with the world is the purpose of this Kailasa, the Hindu nation. And Kailasa is revival of the cosmic constitution. Kailasa is the model nation of how enlightened civilization should be living and administered. Politics, judiciary, education, economy, everything will be revived as Paramashivoham revealed in the Vedagamic Sanatana Hindu Dharma scriptures. Being one of the most persecuted civilizations, Hinduism is on the brink of extinction, such that the next generation may know about Hinduism only through our history books. So what can we do to stand up for Hinduism, the Hindu civilization, and all the great gifts that it has to offer to the world? Today, Hinduism is a political orphan. The preservation and restoration of Hinduism's spiritual and cultural heritage is impossible without a national identity. So what can we do to save Hinduism? We must all reclaim our Hindu identity. As Devi Parashakti is revealed after coming to Bhuloka, we have forgotten the commitment that we have given, falling into Maya delusion, falling into fear and greed. We've forgotten the commitment that we have given. So now let us reclaim our Hindu identity. We need to understand that Hinduism is responsible for our successful life. If we are Hindus and we are healthy, wealthy, rich, happy, successful, peaceful, respectful, have a stable family life, have the best mental health, we need to understand that Hinduism is responsible. Our Hindu identity is responsible. Our Hindu scriptures are responsible. It is our Hindu scriptures which have given us the best mental health, and all the best things that we Hindus have are from our Hindu scriptures. And Hindus are amongst the most richest and most successful ethnic communities in the world. Our Hindu scriptures, our Hindu lifestyle, our enlightened masters are responsible for this. Our Hindu thought currents are responsible for this. Here you can see just one example of the success of Hindus across the globe. In Hindustan Times, it was reported that Hindus are the most educated religious community in the US, according to Pew study reports. So now it is time to reclaim our Hindu identity. We need to understand that it is not just the anti-Hindu elements being active. It is the responsible Hindus being inactive, which is responsible for this whole destruction of Hinduism. Let us now take responsibility for Hinduism and all the Hindus all over the world reclaim our Hindu identity. So let us understand a little bit more about what is our responsibility as Hindus. It is the responsibility of Hindus to revive this enlightened civilization again and again and give all the gifts of this enlightened civilization to humanity. The revival of the enlightened civilization, this Kailasa, the Hindu nation, is the survival need of humanity. So this is an invitation to all the Hindus out there, those who are born Hindus, those who are practicing Hindus, those who are sympathetic towards Hinduism, those who are curious about Hinduism, those who want to explore and enjoy Hinduism. Come and become a part of this revival of Kailasa. You can sign up to be an e-citizen of Kailasa, enjoy all the benefits that Hinduism has to offer to the world, and share it with everyone, and be a part of this revival. So now let us hear from the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself about what is the need for Kailasa, this whole Hindu nation, and what is the need to revive this whole Hindu civilization.
I have incorporated this
Kailasa, nation without borders. Kailasa, nation without borders. In a way, I can say whole universe is the Kailasa. Kailasa, nation without borders. I've incorporated in multiple countries. Each Kailasa will function in their own countries as per that country's law, within that country's law. Understand? The Kailasa is revived to do contribution, uniting the nations for contribution. Hinduism, Veda Agamas have great things to contribute to the world. Like the great power manifestation science, the ancient culture and arts, the ancient lifestyle truths, the ancient medical practices and medicinal knowledge, the ancient indigenous cultural heritage and jewelry, perfume, dance, music. In every level, Hinduism has so much to contribute. Veda Agamic traditions have so much to contribute. To share all this with the world, to contribute to the world. Hindus need to tell the world what they are contributing in every level. The brand of Hinduism itself is enriching and empowering and enlightening. Hinduism is all about enlightening the world. Empowering, enlightening, enriching the world. Contributing. That is our spiritual life. That is our spiritual strength. That is our spiritual core principle. O humanity, I request you with folded hands, some one corner of the world, if you just give me few hundred acres, I will keep this whole science alive. Leave it for the whole humanity freely. Fortunately, Paramashiva has given me the power to decode all this Hindu medicinal system, Hindu judiciary system, Hindu social law and order system, Hindu power manifestation system, Hindu mental sciences system, Hindu yogic sciences, the sciences of Hindu biology, Hindu physics, Hindu psychology, Hindu physiology, Hindu chemistry, all this Paramashiva has given me the power to decode. Whatever the remaining scriptures are available with the humanity, Paramashiva has blessed me, and I have collected, not only I have collected and organized, I can decode. This whole science can be kept alive
in any one corner of the world, just few hundred acres are given for me to live peacefully and exist peacefully, I can store this whole thing alive and contribute it to humanity. Humanity can become better and better and better. I can make the planet Earth so much better place to live. I am here to contribute, and I will continue to contribute. As long as I am allowed to live, I will contribute. I have collected all the remaining available scriptures, maybe 2 crore books. 2 crore means 20 million, I think, books on Hindu physics, Hindu chemistry, Hindu biology, Hindu physiology, Hindu psychology, Hindu law and order, Hindu social system, the power manifestation sciences of Hinduism, yogic sciences of Hinduism. I have collected, and Paramashiva has given me the blessings and power to decode. I have decoded and continuing to decode them. If the humanity, somebody is kind enough to give me few hundred acres in one corner of the world and let me live peacefully, I can keep all the scriptures there and go on sharing with the world, revealing these whole sciences to the world, and go on contributing. I don't need anything other than 1 cup of curd rice every day. That's all. A cup of curd rice per day over. I can go on be giving this to the world. I can add to the world. I can make the world better place to live. That's all I have to say. Thousands of medicines are described detail in ancient Siddha and Ayurvedic scriptures. Paramashiva has given me the power to decode them, read them, and properly translate and map them to the modern day human language. And I am ready to work 20 hours a day. I just need few hundred acres where I can sit peacefully and keep this library, run a Gurukul where thousands of people can learn this and share it with the world. Understand? I am only interested in contributing. If we can decode all this great knowledge, whole world can prosper from this knowledge. Whole world can enjoy from this knowledge. If I prosper, I will only create a university. I will not create anything else. If the Hindus prosper, they will only create education institutions. Because Hinduism is all about giving, contributing. If I prosper, I'll create university, that's all. KAILASA is all about university, to
decode the ancient sciences and share with the world. Understand? Every day I am sitting and going on decoding, writing notes on my books and writing details on my books. Whether it is making human beings manifest powers, and I have also now started downloading and decoding the science of making animals manifest powers. Whether making people manifest powers or healing, in every level, life is all about contribution, contribution, contribution.
Yes. So now that we've understood what is the need for this whole Kailasa, let us get ready to celebrate the 45th Jayanti, according to the Gregorian calendar, of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And today, January 3rd, 2022, marks the grand narrative of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's 45th birthday. 31 cities worldwide are celebrating Kailasa's HDH Nithyananda Day. The following dignitaries were present on the auspicious occasion of Kailasa's HDH Nithyananda Day this morning when the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism addressed the world. Sri Neil Patelji, from a candidate for the Republican primaries for Ohio Senate from Columbus, Ohio. Sri Davindranath Tangpu, Member of Parliament from the Oropoch West in Trinidad and Tobago, and Chairman of the United National Congress Party. His Holiness Jagat Dilip Ji Maharaj, a Hindu monk, NGO representative to the UN, and spiritual guru and interfaith minister in New York, USA, a world-renowned yogi and interfaith minister from the Triputura, erstwhile the capital of Cochin Kingdom in Kerala. His interfaith family is ancient and well respected for its knowledge of yoga, Vedanta, universal spirituality, Kalaripattu, the origin of martial arts, Ayurveda, and other natural self-healing and interfaith teachings for peace and harmony. And His Excellency Ambassador Anthony G. Hilton, Member of Parliament in Jamaica, who serves as a Member of Parliament and is currently the leader of the opposition business in the House, as well as the Shadow Minister of Industry. And as well, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has been working for the reviving the enlightened civilization, and this is a survival need for humanity. And today we will be graced again, once again, by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism.
Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Sorry for the technical glitch. So yes, the reviving the enlightened civilization is a survival need for human beings, as we've seen how Hinduism has been attacked over 1,000 years. This is an absolute survival need, and human beings have lived in an unconscious life and destroyed everything around us, especially in the last 100 years. The deforestation, the damage that we have caused to the environment, and the collective negativity we increase is unimaginable. We are going too fast towards destroying the only home that we have, planet Earth. So enlightenment, the consciousness-centric lifestyle, reviving the enlightened civilization is no more a luxury, it is a survival need. In every level, it is time we bring conscious-centric survival, conscious-centric survival, politics, enlightenment-centric ideas, non-violence, and coexistence-centric values. Hinduism very clearly declares ahimsa parama dharma. The ultimate natural cosmic law, dharma, is non-violence. We bring non-violence in our plate, in our decisions, and politics in the personal level or societal level, or towards other nations or planet Earth. If this generation of human beings wake up, we are going to leave a better planet for the next generation. If we don't, the Supreme Pontiff of Buddhism has described, I don't want to say what will be the results, because there will not be anything left. And the Supreme Pontiff of Buddhism continues on. If we don't wake up to the conscious-centric values, the enlightened civilizational policies, values, non-violence-centric principles and ideas, the collective negativity, which we already triggered, is not going to let us live on planet Earth, the only home we have as of now. So we, all conscious human beings, have the responsibility to unite all the nations to revive the ethical environmentalism. We have to unite all the nations for the conscious studies and practices. We have to unite all the nations to preserve, teach, live ancient enlightened civil sciences. We have to bring enlightenment-centric policies, principles immediately to protect the environment, to bring gender equality, to bring pharmaceutical industry, to bring real health, not to use human beings as a resource for the pharmaceutical industry, and we should focus more and more on bringing life positivity in every level. KAILASA, the only surviving ancient enlightened Hindu civilizational nation, is working intensely since the early, uniting all the nations recognized by United Nations and unrecognized nations, civilizations, ethnic group, matriarchal civilization, the whole humanity, for reviving this consciousness-based enlightened civilization. KAILASA is the first nation for all Hindus. By the grace of Paramashiva, we do have a sovereign territory gifted to us by more than one country, legally given as per the Vienna Convention. These sovereign territories in more than one place for KAILASA and few countries, the kind of autonomous relationship is established with a few dozen countries, and many countries have established the sister city agreements, the embassy relationship, the spiritual embassy relationship, and many levels of recognition and diplomatic tie-ups. KAILASA is more a civilizational nation. Every awakened human being's heart is the territory of KAILASA. KAILASA commits to do its responsibility to spread enlightenment science and revive the ancient enlightened Hindu civilizational nation for the sake of humanity. So this was the address given by the Supreme Pontiff of Buddhism on the 45th Jayanti celebrations, celebrating this whole revival of KAILASA and all the great gifts that the Supreme Pontiff of Buddhism has offered to the world with this revival of KAILASA. So now with this, we will continue with our Jayanti celebrations, and we'll be heading over to the temple to continue the rituals and celebrating the 45th Jayanti of the Avatar himself, the Supreme Pontiff of Buddhism himself. So we'll be right back. Do stay tuned and stay connected as we continue to celebrate this day, and we'll be shortly graced by the Supreme Pontiff of Buddhism himself for another live address.
Nithyanandam, we welcome all the viewers who are witnessing this grand Chandi Homa being offered at the Nithyanandeshwara Paramashiva Devalayam at the Adi KAILASA Nithyananda Sarvajna Peetham. Today we are celebrating the supreme pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Shri Nithyananda Paramashivam, reviving the Shripura Sarvajna Peetham, which is the core of the Shakta Sampradaya. Chandi Homa is a very powerful Vedic and a Tantric ritual in which we worship Devi Parashakti in the form of Devi Chandika Parameshwari. The Chandi Homa consists of the chanting of the Devi Mahatmyam, the Durga Saptashati, which are very powerful 700 verses glorifying Devi Parashakti. Devi Parashakti, Devi Chandika Parameshwari has said in the 12th chapter of Devi Mahatmyam that wherever this Durga Saptashati is chanted, her presence will immediately be invoked along with all the auspiciousness. Now we'll be chanting and doing the Homa of the 12th chapter and the 12th chapter and the 13th chapter of the Devi Mahatmyam. ॐ विद्युद्दामसमप्रभां मृगपतिस्कन्धस्थितां भीषणां कन्याभिक्करवालखेटविलसद्धस्ताभिरासेवितां हस्तैश्चक्रगदासिखेटविशिकांश्चापं गुणं तर्जनीं बिभ्राणामनलात्मिकां शशिधरां दुर्गां त्रिनेत्रां भजे। ॐ देव्योवाच स्वाहा एभिस्तवैश्च मां नित्यं स्तोष्यते यः समाहितः तस्याहं सकलां बाधां नाशयिष्याम्यसंशयं स्वाहा। मधुकैटभनाशं च महिषासुरघातनं कीर्तयिष्यन्ति ये तद्वद्वधं शुम्भनिशुम्भयोः स्वाहा। अष्टम्यां च चतुर्दश्यां नवम्यां चैकचैतसः श्रोष्यन्ति चैव ये भक्त्या मम माहात्म्यमुत्तमं स्वाहा। न तेषां दुष्कृतं किञ्चित् दुष्कृतोत्थानचापदः भविष्यति न दारिद्र्यं न चैवेष्टवियोजनं स्वाहा। शत्रुतो न भयं तस्य दस्युतो वा न राजतः न शस्त्रानलतो योगात् कदाचित् सम्भविष्यति स्वाहा। तस्मान् ममैतन्माहात्म्यं पठितव्यं समाहितैः श्रोतव्यं च सदा भक्त्या परं स्वस्त्ययनं हितते स्वाहा। उपसर्गानशेषांस्तो महामारी समुद्भवान् तथा त्रिविधमुत्पातं माहात्म्यं शमयेन्मम स्वाहा। यत्रैतत्पठ्यते सम्यक् नित्यमायतने मम सदा न तद्विमोक्ष्यामि सान्निध्यं तत्र मे स्थितं स्वाहा। बलिप्रदाने पूजायामग्निकार्ये महोत्सवे सर्वं ममैतच्चरितमुच्चार्यं श्राव्यमेव च स्वाहा। जानता जानता वापि बलिपूजां तथा कृतां प्रतीक्षिष्याम्यहं प्रीत्या वह्नि होमं तथा कृतम् स्वाहा शरत्काले महापूजा क्रियते या च वार्षिकी तस्यां ममैतन्माहात्म्यं श्रुत्वा भक्तिसमन्वितः स्वाहा सर्वबाधा विनिर्मुक्तो धनधान्यसुतान्वितः मनुष्यो मत्प्रसादेन भविष्यति न संशयः स्वाहा श्रुत्वा ममैतन्माहात्म्यं तथा चोत्पत्तयः शुभाः पराक्रमं च युद्धेषु जायते निर्भयः पुमान् स्वाहा रिपवः संक्षयं यान्ति कल्याणं चोपपद्यते नन्दते च कुलं पुंसां माहात्म्यं मम शृण्वताम् स्वाहा शान्तिकर्माणि सर्वत्र तथा दुःस्वप्नदर्शने
ग्रहपीडासु चोग्रासु माहात्म्यं शृणुयान् मम स्वाहा उपसर्गासमं यान्ति ग्रहपीडाश्च दारुणाः दुःस्वप्नं च निर्दृष्टां सुस्वप्नमुपजायते स्वाहा बालाग्रहाभिभूतानां बालानां शान्तिकारकं
सङ्घातभेदे चरणां मैत्रीकरणमुत्तमम् स्वाहा दुर्वृत्तानामशेषाणां बलहानिकरं परम् रक्षो भूतपिशाचानां पठनादेव नाशनम् स्वाहा सर्वं ममैतन्माहात्म्यं मम सन्निधिकारकम् पशुपुष्पार्घ्यधूपैश्च गन्धदीपैस्तथोत्तमैः स्वाहा विप्राणां भोजनैर्होमैः प्रोक्षणीयैरहर्निशम् अन्यैश्च विविधैर्भोगैर्प्रधानैर्वत्सरेण या स्वाहा प्रीतिर्मे क्रियते सास्मिन् सकृच्छ्रुते श्रुते श्रुतं हरति पापानि तथा रोग्यं प्रयच्छति स्वाहा रक्षां करोति भूतेभ्यो जन्मनां कीर्तिनं मम युद्धेषु चरितं यन्मे दुष्टदैत्यनिबर्हणम् स्वाहा तस्मिन् श्रुते वैरिकृतं भयं पुंसां न जायते युष्माभिस्तुतयो याश्च ब्रह्मऋषिभिस्कृताः स्वाहा
ब्रह्मणा च कृतास्तास्तु प्रयच्छन्ति शुभां मतिम् अरण्ये प्रान्तरे वापि दावाग्निः परिवारितः स्वाहा तस्युभिर्वावृतः शून्ये गृहीतो वापि शत्रुभिः सिंहव्याघ्रानुयातो वा वने वा वनस्पतिभिः स्वाहा राज्ञा क्रुद्धेन चाज्ञप्तो बध्यो बन्धकतोऽपि वा आघ्नोर्नितो वातेन स्थितपोते महार्णवे स्वाहा पतत्सु चापि शस्त्रेषु सङ्ग्रामे वृषदारुणे सर्वा बाधासु घोरासु वेदनाभ्यर्थितोऽपि वा स्वाहा स्मरन् ममैतच्चरितं नरो मुच्येत सङ्कटात् मम प्रभावात् सिंहाद्या तस्य वो वैरिणस्तथा स्वाहा दूरादेव पलायन्ते स्मरतश्चरितं मम स्वाहा ऋषिरुवाच स्वाहा इत्युक्ता सा भगवती चण्डिका चण्डविक्रमा पश्यतामेव देवानां तत्रैवान्तरधीयत तेऽपि देवा निरातङ्का स्वाधिकारान् यथा पुरा स्वाहा यज्ञभागभुजः सर्वे चक्रुर्विनिहतारयः दैत्याश्च देव्या निहते शुम्भे देवरिपौ युधि स्वाहा जगद्विध्वंसिनी तस्मिन् महोग्रे तुलविक्रमे शुम्भे च महावीर्ये शेषः पातालमायुः स्वाहा एवं भगवती देवी सा नित्यार्पि पुनः पुनः सम्भूय कुरुते भूप जगतः परिपालनम् स्वाहा तयैतन्मोह्यते विश्वं सैव विश्वं प्रसूयते सा याचिता च विज्ञानं तुष्टा रिद्धिं प्रयच्छति स्वाहा व्याप्तं तयैतत् सकलं ब्रह्माण्डं मनुजेश्वरः महाकाल्या महाकाले महामारी स्वरूपया स्वाहा सैव काले महामारी सैव सृष्टिर्भवत्यजा स्तुतिं करोति भूतानां सैव काले सनातनी स्वाहा भवकाले नृणां सैव लक्ष्मीर्वृद्धिप्रदा गृहे सैवाभावे तथा लक्ष्मीर्विनाशायोपजायते स्वाहा सुता सम्पूजिता पुष्पैर्धूपगन्धादिभिस्तथा ददाति वित्तं पुत्रां च मतिं धर्मे गतिं शुभम् स्वाहा।
जय जय श्री मार्कण्डेय पुराणे सावर्णिके मन्वन्तरे देवी माहात्म्ये फलस्तुतिर्नाम 12ोऽध्यायः। ॐ क्लीं जयन्ती साङ्गायै सायुधायै शक्तिकायै सपरिवारायै सवाहनायै बालात्रिपुरसुन्दर्यै महाहुतिं समर्पयामि नमः स्वाहा।
ॐ ऐं ह्रीं क्लीं
चामुण्डायै
विच्चे श्री दुर्गा लक्ष्मी सरस्वती स्वरूपतया विराजमान श्री चण्डिका परमेश्वर्यै नमः।
धूपदीपं समर्पयामि। ॐ बालार्कमण्डलाभासां चतुर्बाहुं त्रिलोचनां पाशाङ्कुशवराभीतिर्धारयन्तीं शिवां भजे। ॐ ऋषिरुवाच स्वाहा एतत्ते कथितं भूपदेवी माहात्म्यमुत्तमम् एवं प्रभावा सा देवी ययेदन्धार्यते जगते स्वाहा। विद्या तथैव क्रियते भगवद्विष्णुमायया तया त्वमेष वैश्यश्च तथैवान्ये विवेकिनः स्वाहा। मोह्यन्ते मोहिताश्चैव मोहमेष्यन्ति चापरे तामुपैहि महाराजः शरणं परमेश्वरीं स्वाहा। आराधिता चैव नृणां भोगस्वर्गापवर्गता स्वाहा। मार्कण्डेय उवाच स्वाहा इति तस्य वचः श्रुत्वा सुरतः स नराधिपः प्रणिपत्य महाभागं तं ऋषिं शंसितव्रतं निर्वण्णोति ममत्वेन राज्यापहरणेन च स्वाहा।
जगाम सद्यस्तपसे स वै वैश्यो महामुने सन्दर्शनार्थमम्भाया नदी पुलिन संस्थितः स्वाहा। स च वैश्यस्तपस्तेपे देवी सूक्तं परं जपन् तौ तस्मिन् पुलिने देव्याः कृत्वा मूर्तिं महीमयीं स्वाहा। अर्हणां चक्रतुस्तस्याः पुष्पधूपाग्नितर्पणैः निराहारौ यताहारौ तन्मनस्कौ समाहितौ स्वाहा। ददतुस्तौ बलिं चैव निजगात्रा सृगुक्षितम् एवं समाराधयतो स्त्रिभिर्वर्षय्यतात्मनोः स्वाहा। परितुष्टा जगद्धात्री प्रत्यक्षं प्राह चण्डिका स्वाहा। देव्युवाच स्वाहा यत्प्रार्थ्यते त्वया भूप त्वया च कुलनन्दन मत्तस्तत्प्राप्यतां सर्वं परितुष्टा ददामि तत् स्वाहा। मार्कण्डेय उवाच स्वाहा
ततो वव्रे नृपो राज्यमभिभ्रंशन्यजन्मनि अत्रैव च निजं राज्यं हतशत्रुबलं बलात् स्वाहा सोऽपि वैश्यस्ततो ज्ञानं वव्रे निर्वण्णमानसः ममेत्यहमिति प्राज्ञः सङ्गविच्युतिकारकम् स्वाहा देव्योवाच स्वाहा स्वल्पैरहोभिर्नृपदे स्वराज्यं प्राप्स्यते भवान् हत्वा रिपुनस्खलितं तव तत्र भविष्यति स्वाहा मृतश्च भूय सम्प्राप्य जन्मदेवाद्विवस्वतः स्वाहा सावर्णिको नाम मनुर्भवान् भुवि भविष्यति स्वाहा वैश्यवर्यत्वया यश्च स्वरोस्मतोऽभिवाञ्छितः स्वाहा सम्प्रयच्छामि संसिद्धै तव ज्ञानं भविष्यति स्वाहा मार्कण्डेयोवाच स्वाहा इति दत्त्वा तयोर्देवी यथाभिलषितं वरं स्वाहा बभूवान्तर्हृता सद्यो भक्त्या ताभ्यामभीष्टुता एवं देव्या वरं लब्ध्वा सुरदक्षत्रियर्षभः स्वाहा सूर्याजन्म समासाद्य सावर्णिर्भविता मनुः स्वाहा एवं देव्या वरं लब्ध्वा सुरतः क्षत्रियर्षभः सूर्याजन्म समासाद्य सावर्णिर्भविता मनुः क्लीं ॐ स्वाहा. We thank all the viewers to celebrate and witness this grand Chandi Homa on this auspicious day of the Nithyananda Jayanti Mahotsava. Thank you, Nithyanandam.